Test, test, test. Hi, guys. Just a few minutes and just a few seconds, and we can start.
So, welcome everyone. Hmm, I'm thrilled to have you join this live session. And before we dive in into the material, a quick housekeeping request: please mute your microphone, yo, and turn off your cameras. And feel free to drop any questions you have into the chat box as we go. So please, okay. Now, our journey today will begin with a presentation to set the stage. So, just to talk about a little bit about the agenda, and after, so we'll check the slides, this presentation, and following that, we will shift our focus to the exciting world of artificial intelligence, especially how you can harness its power. And I will also walking through the live demonstration of the some of the key features in the FP&A decision tool. And finally, we will wrap up with a dedicated Q&A session to address all your insights and queries, so you can um, post your questions into the chat, and some of them, so I can. It depends on how much time we have at the end. Some questions I will answer some questions. So okay, let's jump to the first slide. So let's talk about about financial officers, CFOs, and executives, like financial executives and financial experts. And what is the future of them, of these people? A lot of are fearing, of course, their jobs and stuff, and about AI. And yes, of course, it's a very important topic. So it's a point what we would like to thematize today. So the main job of the CFO, so or Chief Financial Officer, or indeed any top financial leader, is to expertly forecast the company's financial future, actually. So this role is much more than just arithmetic. So it's demands a special kind of persistence, blending rigorous data analysis with strategic intuition and a solid grasp of market dynamics, I would say. So actually, the CFO is the principal architect of the company's financial trajectory. Okay, and when we are jump to the next slide, actually, probably I hope you are watching Bloomberg. It's the news portal like CNBC. So about you're talking about finance and business. So if you are watching Bloomberg and as a financial executive, you should do it. So you will know that have a show where the interview. So there is a show in Bloomberg where where they interviewing CFOs, which is who they humorously call out by highlighting the forecast nature of a role. So they call it chief, call them in the show chief future officers. So as we understand now, as not just CFOs, but they, and so it is not just for CFOs, but every FP&A experts. You have to somehow forecast and see what's happening in the future. And to truly understand this job, your position is best viewed as I would say as a space pilot, fundamentally different from a normal commercial or a private airline. I would say airline pilot. So this is like a comparison in this case. If we are go to the next slide, so let's just talk about just as an anecdote to compare CFO with a normal pilot. So a normal pilot actually flies within Earth's most atmosphere. So this is the difference between a normal pilot and CFO. So the normal pilot has the information, so they navigate in a predictable airspace from a clear start. That means A to a fixed destination B. And in their environment is considered by known physics, I would say. And it's established flight corridors and comprehensive infrastructure. So their core objective is to fly safety and critically, and of course, profitably. So it's always also important for the pilots that they can calculate costs, the time, and they need to look that they are flying profitably for the airline. Because if they don't, then the airline don't make money. Compared to a normal pilot, a CFO, I would say is like a space pilot. So space pilot means what I mean with this. Space pilot is for us now something unknown. Yeah. So if you would like to travel into space, we have roughly data. If we would like to, so not to we would like to travel somewhere outside or far away from the moon or something. So the CFO or space pilot operates in a total different domain. That means on the threat for more volatile and less charted. Destination B at the for a CFO, for example, a specific market capitalization or a successful product launch, is often a target still under construction or subject to a rapid cosmic shift. Course is not fixed flight path, but an ever evolving strategy through, I would say, uncharted economic sectors. You have also tons of regulatory black holes. And there are also a lot of competitors there. Okay, so the CFO must anticipate the unknown. This is the biggest challenge. Major market distribution, technological singularities, and geopolitical shifts. So they must somehow manage to ship. And as I told, it's not just for CFOs, it's every kind of financial experts who, who are doing something with FP&A, so financial planning and analysis. So they must manage somehow the ship, the company, with limited resources through a vast, dynamic environment where the only constant is actually change. So change is always there. And their variables are not just the fuel and time, like for the pilot, or weather, but much more. So it could be include these variables: currency volatility, interest rates fluctuation, supply chain fragility, also investor sentiment, and unforeseen competitive maneuvers. And all of these require real-time, high-stake decision making. So if we are just jumping to the next slides quickly, let's talk about Christopher Columbus. So Christopher Columbus, you know, that guy who is explore America. Christopher Columbus, much like a modern day entrepreneur, I would say, or CFO, was driven by bold, uncertain vision. So he knew the general direction, a westward route to the reaches of East, specifically India. However, the precise calculation were elusive, a fog of war in the air. He had to convince his backers, so the monarchs of Spain, promising a climate and an outcome, even without complete certainty of distance or what lay ahead. So actually, his journey was a leap of a faith based on incomplete data. And like many grand entrepreneurial ventures, this core was an unexpected one. He set out for India but found America, which is funny, a new continent that fundamentally changed the course of history. So his history, from my point of view, exemplifies the spirit of a risk taker who embraced the unknown, using informed guesswork to bridge the gap between a known start point, Europe, and B point, an unknown destination. So let's just jump to the next slide, where we see we are living in an age where AI and robots are turning science fiction into reality. So we are actually living in the future if you are watching the movies, Star Wars, or something like this. Because AI, so these kind of concepts like AI, talking robots, and spaceships are no longer confined to the movies. So they are not just in the movies. So in the new world, I would say your role as a financial executive or a CFO is like that a navigator in a movie Dune. Probably you heard this movie Dune. So, and this is also in the next slide. Yeah, no, it's the same slide. Okay, so the Dune. This is the new word. So the movie Dune. If you are not familiar with Dune, so this movie, it's a science fiction story about a planet called Arrakis. And this planet is the source of a substance called spice. So this is like a source, a very useful and expensive source. So this spice gives the navigators the crucial ability to pilot ships through vast, unpredictable space to overcoming the limitation of a normal machines. So they need this foresight to find new planets and resources. So this kinds of resource, the spice, is an incredibly value and powerful source. That means whoever control the spice control the whole freaking universe. I would also say like fire. So AI and the spice and these kind of resources are like fire. It has both positive and negative power. It can cook a meal or also burning everything down. The most important thing, you need to learn how you use it. If you don't learn, you will probably lose. So just jump to the next slide. And as I also say, I would argue that our new kind of spice is AI. So as a financial leader, you must learn how to use AI. And it is absolutely crucial if you want to rule your domain. AI is a game changer. It's no longer just a nice to have thing. Okay, so next slide. Um, if you are following the news, you will know that the World Economic Forum in Davos, in Schweiz, in Switzerland, AI is the central topic. If you don't believe me, just Google it. Davos, Schweiz, Swiss annual meeting, World Economic Forum. This is about, okay, the picture is from 2025, just one picture, but it was this week for 2026. And this AI house thing is the first time that they built or made here this AI house. And it was about everything about AI. And I also heard a lot of panel talkings about AI, and everything was about AI, wow, it changed, and so on and so forth. I can recommend you that if you have time, just watch a few of them, because these are the leaders, not just financial leaders and company leaders, is also politicians there. So like Donald Trump and so on, and Elon Musk and everybody who is counts. This was the first time that they made AI house because it's so important now. And they said that it's not nice to have anymore. So I told there was even an AI house in Davos, and AI doesn't just set the transform health. So AI just don't set the transform to healthcare and other fields. It fundamentally changed the financial world also. So this is a technology is developing at a breakneck speed. So you need to get up to speed now. So not in years, but in weeks. The changes extremely, and they are also coming very fast. Not at the slow pace they once did. So if you don't act today, you will quick fall behind. I also wanted to say by my experience. I also studied informatics, and after my informatic studies, I studied economics. But I remember it was about 10 years ago. And on that time, so I learned a lot of programming from YouTube videos and stuff, because the books were already outdated. And it was about 10 years before, as I told. And when I watched some YouTube videos and I see that so the videos was the YouTube tutorial videos about programming language or something, how you can program something, then I saw the date one was made when the video was made, and I saw, yeah, it's about 1 year or 2 years. Then I say, okay, good, probably is old. Nowadays, if I see some kind of videos or tutorials from an AI video and I see, oh, it's like 1 month or 2 months old, I don't see or watch it because I know it's old. And this is crazy how it changed in the last few years. So let's just think. You can think about the ChatGPT, for example. The first, I think, it was after Corona something, so 2023 or something. And now we are 2026. In 3 years, there is crazy how big jumps of development, how it's improved. It's absolutely crazy. So let's just jump to the next slide. Oh yeah, this is my favorite. So the flickering blue light of the miniature illuminated room casting long shadows, and so on and so forth. So I don't like Netflix, but there are good films. For example, Margin Call. I think if you are a financial executive or somebody who is in the finance, you already saw this film. I recommend you to watch this, because there was a scene which I really like it. So there was John Tolt, CFO of the company, head of the company. He told there are three ways to make a living in this business: be first, be smarter, or cheat. And of course, it's much more easier. So he adds that while he doesn't cheat, it is easier to simply be the first. So it's crucial to win, to be the first. Be the first also with AI who is implemented as a first person. And if you're done sleeping now, you could be one of them. He also describes his job as a ruthless navigating financial uncertainty, famously stating he is there to guess what the music might do in the future as a CFO. So jump to the next slide. Question is, how do you get this special power? So imagine you are a space navigator guiding a starship through the financial cosmos, and your mission is to rule the financial world, not with a brute force, but the superpower of AI. So, as an AI blueprint, AI start by building financial models. Think of these models as a detailed start chart, I would say, mapping out all the variables of your business journey. Question is, of course, how you can do this. So, for example, in my AI hub, FP&A hub, we make templates which you can feed your AI. So feed your AI, and to AI can build your models in a very small amount of time. All you need to know is you just must know what kind of explanation and data you need to feed in. So you need to have this template and fill in this template with your specific situation or specific business use case and fit it into AI. And as I told, we have these templates in this AI hub, and also the whole backbone how you can set it up. Because these AIs can already create you these models in a very small amount of time. But the most important thing, you have to be really specific to get the right information back. Because the thing is, the AI is not bad. The input data could be bad, or if you don't explain the AI well, what you would like to have. So if if your input is garbage, you cannot expect to get a nice output. So AI FPA Hub, this is our Starship engine room, I would say. So we can create the AI FPA Hub where you don't have to start from scratch. You bring your business case, your destination, and the mission goals. And our AI feeds that into a template. So instantly, the AI builds the working model for you. So if you have the working model, you're fully calibrated start to chart with it. So you can easily do forecasting and explore different scenarios. So this is where our FP&A painkiller tool steps in. So it supports you easing pain of manual calculations and complexity and allowing you focus on the strategy, make you through superpower wheeling space navigator. And we have, of course, tons of other stuff here in the AI MBA Hub, also community and so on and support. For example, we meet every year in London. The AI and the internet are great, but it is also nice to meet people in person. It's a very pleasant atmosphere, which is included in our membership.